Assalamu alaikum, Jianu, Pakhair Ragale, Ni Hao, Chunashumme, Washmale, Ohio Gozaimas, Guten Morgen, Ola, Bonjour, Privyet, Kaifa Hal, Hale Shamat Chatore, Ahlan Wasalan Maraba, and a very amazing good morning to everybody who is tuned into PT World and are watching World this morning alongside the very amazing, the very intelligent Maha Makhdoom and Shazad Khan. Hello Maha, how are you today?
Hello Shazad, Assalamu alaikum everyone. I am good today. I feel like today those hellos are a bit slower like than normal.
Yeah, they were because, not always you're in the same zone or things can be the other way around too as
Busy
well.
weekend then.
It was a very busy weekend, and even other than that, I don't know, there's something wrong with my shoulder and keeps on hurting.
Okay.
But other than that, I think I just need a bit of rest because
Okay.
my weekend was actually been spent in Azad Kashmir.
That's amazing.
Beautiful
So jealous.
place. The
Yeah.
weather was a bit hot, but other than that, the guy who actually got married, thanks to him for making us trek like, I don't know, probably 10, 15 kilometers in these 2 days.
Oh, that's excellent. It's very healthy as well. It's
Yeah,
good
it
to
wasn't
have.
really back then.
Okay.
Yeah, because I felt like as if I'm going to die.
Okay, well that means that you need to be more active.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I had a good weekend. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, I was about to.
I didn't do much. I just chilled out and just saw my family, and that's about it.
Well,
was
you've got
very
family
relaxed.
over here too?
Well, I got my mom and that.
Oh, wow,
was
that's
it.
cool. Oh,
But
that's
I mean,
not really family, is it?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I was just kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, the weather over here in Islamabad is superb. It's perfect. It's
But it's
raining.
pretty hot in this
Yeah.
studio, isn't it?
It is.
Boiling in
It
the
is
studio?
hot in the studio because
Yeah.
I think that the guy actually forgot to turn on the air conditioner. So it's perfectly all right. We're just going to jump in and just try to hang in there.
Exactly, but we have a wonderful show lined up for you today, and we want to start your week with positivity and get you in the right zone. But before we launch into our subject, let's check what's happening around the world and within Pakistan.
Let's do it. Thousands of Sikh Yatris from across the world participated in the three-day Baisakhi festival at Gurdwara Panja Sahib in Hassan Abdal, the third most sacred city of the Sikh religion. Beautiful.
The Islamabad chapter of Floral Art Society organized floral depiction in the Evergreen Narrative Anarkali by Imtiaz Ali Taj. The function was organized at the Pakistan National Council of Arts Islamabad in connection with the 20th anniversary of the Islamabad chapter of the society.
And following where a sunflower maze in the northern Philippines is drawing hundreds of tourists as the country officially starts its dry or summer season. Manila opened three 1,200 square meter sunflower mazes last month for the second year in a row in a bid to boost tourism in the mainly farming region. I don't like these mazes. I just get lost. I just cannot even find my way out.
That's
But
why it's called a maze.
I think this might be an easy one as well because you can see through the bushes.
Yeah, maybe. And giant pandas love to play on swings, but they can't help feeling embarrassed when they fall off, which apparently happens all the time according to recent released videos footage by the Shenyang Forest Zoological Garden in Shenyang City, northeast China's Liaoning province.
But I just feel like pandas are tired too as well. So I just fall off the bed.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, these were the top stories, and now it's time that we actually jump into what we're going to be discussing
Yes.
today. So we have always tried to be a platform where people can come and share their talent, and this is what we're going to do today.
Exactly. We want to highlight what the youngsters of Pakistan are doing. What more positivity? But where else can we start with on such a positive note? Within Pakistan, we all know that, we have very intelligent people, in every field, be it in the arts, be it in sports, be it in science,
agriculture.
Agriculture. But the thing is, we need to develop and we need to catch up with the rest of the world. So within Pakistan, there are people that are focusing on AI, artificial intelligence,
Yes.
and robotics. And within Pakistan, about 60 universities actually invest in this area.
Well, I certainly do not believe in this, that whether universities invest in it or not, because half of the time I've always seen kids actually doing their own projects or putting in money from their father or parents' pocket, or the schools doing that. This is something which I'm not going to go with, and I'm not going to buy this as well.
Okay.
But other than that, I think, because our economy is agriculture-based or aquaculture-based, but what we need to do is to probably progress and be in line with all of those other countries all around the globe. We need to invest in science and technology and research and development.
Exactly, because the main aspect of it is the whole research and development part. But within Pakistan, the students are getting involved in robotics and AI.
Exactly, and this is what we're going to talk about. But even other than that, the other side of the picture, ladies and gentlemen, over here is that since we are an agriculture-based economy, so imagine that if we are actually exporting a truck full of wheat, imagine what in return are we getting? I think probably just a single iPhone.
Okay.
So where is our economy going to land? Well, obviously not very far away.
Okay, so to tell you what we're going to be discussing, let's take a look at a report so you have the foundations, and then we will tell you more specifically the students that we've been joined by and the topic.
Exactly.
We are living in an era of artificial intelligence. Scientists are making use of artificial intelligence to design machines that have cognitive ability. These machines function and respond like humans. Artificial intelligence gadgets can perform speech recognition, learning, planning, and problem solving. They amplify human intelligence to make the impossible possible. Artificial intelligence is taking the world to a whole new level of transformation. Nations advancing in artificial intelligence stand out to lead the world. Recently, the two promising brothers Hassan Moiz and Hassan Moiz and their sister Ajia Moiz have manifested their unprecedented talent in the field of robotics and artificial intelligence. Hassan Moiz has extraordinary interest in studies of artificial intelligence and is very passionate about manufacturing robots. He dedicates extensive hours to research, designing, and programming to develop robots. Ajia Moiz too has commendable talent for such programs. She has deep interest in latest developments taking place in robotics and artificial intelligence. The youngest brother Hassan Moiz is equally influenced by the creative works of his siblings. Hassan, you are super genius engineer of Pakistan. You have built this wonderful robot. What is the function of this robot?
Well, this robot is basically made for maze runner competition. This robot has 3 ultrasonic sensors, one in front, one in right, and one in left. It detects range from all these sensors. It has a limit of about 3 meters, from 30 centimeters to 3 meters. It can detect the range, which accordingly detects openings and then turns right or left. Furthermore, it also has a gyro sensor. This gyro sensor tells the current heading in degrees, and then it helps it to maintain a certain heading and go straight.
My role in making this robot was basically I helped with the pointing out mistakes and problems and telling how to correct them. Basically, I was also supporting him in correcting the speed, that we should optimize it to this speed, and I was giving him ideas on how to make the structure of this and all.
My role in making this robot was by supporting my brother in assembling the robot together. I helped him in the calibration of the robot.
The three young emerging scientists have their own setup at the home to pursue their interest in robotics and artificial intelligence. They took up the challenge of making Maze Runner robot to win a competition. They worked together round the clock and got successful in developing Maze Runner robot. Their efforts bore fruit and they won the competition, which was held between 6 universities and 20 schools.
And ladies and gentlemen, with that, we've actually been joined by the winners of the Head Start School Indigenous Robotics Competition.
Exactly.
Let us just introduce them to you. And we are lucky enough that, their coordinators, science coordinators, are even with us. So let's see, whom do we have?
Okay, so we've been joined by Sir Tariq. He's the science coordinator at Capital Campus City School. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Shazad?
Yeah,
Oh,
okay. It's my turn. So alongside Sir Tariq, we have been joined by the youngest one within the team. I think his name is Hassan Moiz. Hello, Hassan. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you
joining us.
Besides Hassan, we've been joined by Hassan Moiz. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Congratulations.
And
Good
besides
morning.
Hassan, we have been joined by somebody who I think is working very outside the box, because this room, ladies and gentlemen, right now is filled with men.
Yeah.
There are only 2 women. One is Ma and the second one is her. And she's none other than Ajia Muiz. Hello, Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you for
Walaikum
joining.
assalam.
Walaikum salam.
Besides Ajia, we've been joined by Fahad Asif. He is a science teacher and also an engineer himself. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Walaikum assalam.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
So I
great.
think I'm going to get the conversation
Please
started
go
with Sir
ahead.
Tariq over here. So Sir Tariq, first of all, there's too many other competitions which take place in Pakistan now. Thank God that our students, they so want to work on artificial intelligence, where robots can themselves decide in between light and dark and obstacles and whatnot. But how did you land it over here within Pakistan when you've lived abroad for 47 years? What made you come back?
Well, I grew up in Pakistan. I'm from Rawalpindi.
Wow.
I had most of my education here in Pakistan. Did a degree from Government College Lahore and went abroad to research.
Wow.
And then, having taught there for a number of years, I thought I'd come back. And I was offered a position at the city school, the capital campus.
Okay,
And I was
wow.
absolutely amazed to see how interested students are.
Okay, wonderful. So now this competition, we've got the the brains behind the talent as well. But tell us about this competition in itself, and then we'll get specifics from our guests.
Well, in fact, there were two competitions. One
Okay.
competition was to design, build, and run a robot which will follow a line. So a reflective tape is put onto the floor, and the robot follows contours of that tape. We have another team that you will see later on.
Obviously.
But this particular robot had to go around something that you don't particularly like,
Okay.
a maze.
Yeah.
So, yes, and this is the winning robot.
Okay.
It follows the maze and it goes around it, and the sensors in there detect the obstacles that come in the way, change direction, and so in fact the robot is packed full of sensors, and the brain in it tells it where to go.
And it
Okay,
is
so-
artificially intelligent robot.
It is artificially intelligent
Okay.
robot.
Wonderful. So let's move on to Hassan. Tell us a little bit about this.
Hassan, what did you do in making this robot?
I helped my brother in assembling it.
Okay, excellent.
Just your brother or your sister too?
My brother.
Can I just interrupt
Sure.
you? Actually, the robot belonged to Hassan. They took it apart, so essentially it's his robot.
Excellent. So tell us a little bit about it.
It has 3 ultrasonic sensors
Okay.
which detect the
Hold
surrounding.
it in your hand and show us where is the ultrasonic sensor.
Yeah.
These 3 are ultrasonic sensors.
Okay.
It helps the robot to see where the wall surroundings are, and it moves accordingly.
Amazing. And so how long did it take you to?
It took us about 1 day.
1 day. Is that it?
And you made a robot in one day?
Okay, excellent.
Really?
So Hassan, tell us what was your role in putting this robot together? Does it have a name?
Robot?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Does it have a name?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll
okay.
give it.
Artificially intelligent robot.
Okay. So tell us a little bit what you did for it.
It has 3 ultrasonic rangefinders which basically detect, send ultrasonic sound and then detects it, which tells it the range.
Okay.
And it has 1 compass sensor. Basically, like we have compasses which tells us the degrees. It is the same thing but digital.
Right.
So it goes through a maze, detects the walls, and then if our distance increases above a certain level, it then knows that it's a maze. So it then turns on that direction. With its gyro sensor, like the compass sensor, it stays in a straight headings.
All right, well,
Amazing.
okay, so what's going to happen if the maze is like a closed-ended maze? I mean, there's no opening to the maze. Do you think it will eventually just stop and
I
just
think
give up?
it will start. It will eventually stop.
When you stop. Okay, that's amazing. So now tell us, Ajay, you were seeing what was wrong with, from our report, you were telling us what was wrong with it, you were critiquing it. So what else was your role regarding that?
Well, I was the one that suggested that we should use a compass
Okay.
because at first we were using different wheels like DC motors and they were not synchronized and the robot was not going in straight. So I was the one that suggested that we could use a compass to calibrate it accordingly.
Oh, amazing.
So before we move on to your other science teacher as well, your father, ladies and gentlemen, these 3 are siblings and they belong to the same family. His father's an engineer too. How much did he help in making this robot?
Well, most of the credit goes to him.
That's 2 of you.
He's the one who suggested us to use a
single motor.
different base, a single motor system,
Okay.
which helped it to go in a straight line along with the gyros and the compass.
Okay, amazing.
Wow.
But now you said it took you guys a day to put this together.
To be precise, 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours.
No, but who programmed it? I mean, who did that all?
I did.
Oh, you did it? Wow.
That's amazing. So far, tell us, the really intelligent people we're surrounded by these days. That's amazing. So how was it?
They already know so much about it. So I just helped them with the experiential learning.
Okay.
Hassan is doing this since he was 6-year-old, I guess.
Yes.
So he already know all the bits and pieces.
Okay.
What I did that I myself I'm an electrical engineer, so I have the experience of the competitions.
Okay.
So I told him कि what actually happens in the arena. So how you have to adapt the changes that you have to do there.
Okay, amazing. That's so good that you have
So
the
I mean, the
guidance.
way we are talking today over here, ladies and gentlemen, on this show, it seems like as if making robot is not even a problem. And yes, but to me, it just looks so different that I don't know what to say. But okay, so Hassan, how was it when you went on the competition day, and were you like kind of thinking that I don't know what's going to happen, whether it's going to work fine or not? Were all of
I
these
was
things
a
bugging you?
little stressed out. I thought we would lose, and I was upset that it wouldn't work.
Oh, okay, but it did work, and you guys like did very well. Now, I want to ask Tariq. Okay, now you have been, these students are brilliant. I mean, it took them a few hours to come up with something that won a competition across 200 schools, if I'm not mistaken.
20 schools and
About
6
20.
universities.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I got the other
It's all right.
competition then. Now, so when now applying it to Pakistan, applying it to the students here, what is the relevance and what is the benefit of getting these guys interested in channeling it to this competition specifically?
Well, you see, all of us say wonderful phrases like, the future is robotics, but the reality is the future is here.
Okay.
You know, we have trains that run without drivers.
Yeah.
The planes land, not because the pilots control them, but robotically they land. Now, the thing that surprised me was that these are at the front end of success.
Right.
Our next team is the next generation, they're younger. But if you were to come to our school, the students who are actually taking part in robotics classes, which run every Monday, and they run from about 2 o'clock until 3:30,
Okay.
the students are 7, 8, 6-year-olds.
Okay, but I mean, within Pakistan, what is the scope of it then? I mean, we're trying to channel this kind of interest and gain that, but what is the end
Because we do
result?
not have research labs, we cannot make their own parts. We have to import half of the machinery from abroad,
Is that correct?
just so we can make our own robots. So
But the truth of the matter is, you have also got to ask who exactly builds these things abroad.
yeah,
Okay.
In the years that I spent there, we were the ones who wrote the national curriculum there, and that is what essentially we teach.
Okay.
And we have the capacity here. Not a single item that made up these robots was imported directly. They're all available here in Pakistan.
yeah. but
Wonderful.
they're all imports.
Well, most of them are imports.
Yeah.
But
No, but the point, the only reason why I'm saying that is not to actually, convey a message that we cannot do it. What I'm trying to convey over here is that, are we going to witness a time where we'll have research facilities or probably manufacturing facilities where we can make things which meets the demands of the people who are into artificial intelligence and robotics?
absolutely.
Sir, but nowadays everything is being manufactured in China. All of this stuff came from China. Like even our smartphones, everything is manufactured in China. So in China, it is manufactured very cheaply. So basically, what we want is in Pakistan to people to design stuff, not manufacture like this stuff. It was
Okay.
already done in China.
Okay.
So by the end
We
of the
want-
day, there'll be something, at the lower ground of the robot where it says "Made in China." How would it feel then?
No, but it doesn't matter. You live
like
in a globalized
like
village.
Apple, Apple. It was you can say it was made in China, but it was designed in somewhere else.
Exactly.
yeah.
It's like we want in Pakistan, we want stuff
Apple's
to be
designed
designed
by
here.
Allah. I mean,
But-
come on. I mean, come on. Don't do that.
Okay,
It
jokes
Talking
can't
aside.
be
about
designed
different
by
apples.
any other one.
Sorry?
We're talking about different apples.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
one that grows on tree was designed
Yeah,
by Allah,
exactly.
and Allah gave us the strength to
Exactly.
design
Okay.
the one that we talk on the phone.
Okay, so I see your point, and absolutely, it's not about we need. Look, you work with the resources available and what the world is going towards. Now you're living in a global village. You're going to buy stuff from other places.
It's fine.
We don't need to have
It's
an
just
ego
going to be
about
more
it.
expensive then.
Okay, well then we'll have to find ways to make it cheaper. and
Yeah,
that's
this is what I wanted to say because you were just talking about designing a curriculum, right? Now we're here in Pakistan. We are so good with teaching kids English, science, physics, maths, computers. I don't even know what they teach us in computers because back in my day it was disk operating system, DOS probably, or something other than that. But now I don't see any school coming up with curriculum where they have or pay importance to subjects like artificial intelligence.
I think that's a very, very important and a clever question, if I may say so.
Thank you very much.
You see, a curriculum is a funny thing.
Yep.
You have a certain amount of pie. Call it a pizza if you want to say. You can only make so many slices of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you make the slice for mathematics too small, your children's mathematical ability will be less.
Yes.
So you have to give enough time. What we are trying to do in the capital campus is that we are offering co-curricular activities.
Right.
If we haven't got enough time for kids to play football, we would let them play football after school or on Saturday mornings as well as their normal curriculum.
Yeah.
Similarly, when it comes to doing extra science or extra mathematics, they do that.
Okay.
Our students grow little seeds and they begin to see how things germinate
Yeah.
and so on. And they're
Okay.
very excited.
No, and that's amazing that there's actual kind of experience-based learning
Yeah.
as well. Now, I want to bring Fahad into the conversation because we do have some other competition participants here as well, and we need to discuss with them their
Younger ones.
projects as well and what they also see. But now, when you were mentoring and when you were guiding them, going forward, what is the hope now? Because you've given them the experience, you're taking them to the competitions. What's the next step?
You see, we don't have much industries in Pakistan, so he can design this stuff, but ultimately he needs to go somewhere where he can
Build a lot of them.
Huh?
Where he can make a lot of these robots.
Where he can make a lot of these robots, but it is our government is not supporting us. We don't have much industries here, so.
Okay, so you're talking about more support. So now, just before we wrap up this segment, so Hassan, tell me, what would you want to do now? Like now that you've had a little bit of taste of a competition, you've made your robot, what do you want to do next with this?
Because if you can make a maze runner, I think you can probably be in competition with Tesla.
Yeah. So what are your plans?
I want to make this robot a little much like it could run on its own on roads and stuff like that.
Okay, excellent. And Hassan, what about you? How do you want to take this forward?
I have many ideas. I have many
Okay.
projects. Like right now, currently, I'm working on a project which there are many already built systems like temperature monitoring, smoke monitoring. I'm currently working on a project building from scratch. It has all this stuff combined like smoke, temperature, humidity, and it is a system that can be placed in a building. And multiple buildings with one command center, it can, get the data and plot a graph.
And it's definitely going to have a speaker to let people know because the alarm's going to beep. So just put it in a
Yes,
Bluetooth
okay,
device too as well so that we can listen to a few songs.
It can have, sure.
Excellent.
Yeah. Similarly, I have many other projects. Adding on what Sir said, when I'm done with my studies, I want to make a company.
Okay, excellent.
But I was searching in internet and stuff like that, and I got to know that our government, our policies are not that easy,
Supportive.
or not that supportive. Like to make a company, what I have to do is very difficult. Like I have
Okay.
to hire a lawyer because I
Okay.
wasn't able to understand.
Oh,
It
right.
wasn't user
And ma'am,
friendly.
that's where the older generation comes in.
Exactly, and you have your dad to guide you. He's
I
already
mean,
guided
the-
you.
These,
No,
these
but,
guys were
but-
working till 9:30 one night.
Wow.
And we
Amazing.
didn't leave them in school on their own.
Of
The rest
course
of us
not,
did them,
not.
and we supported them.
Amazing.
Excellent.
And that's how we would bring along.
Absolutely. And how about you, Ajia? How would you want to do this?
I share a common dream with him, and I would also like to work as a biomedical engineer when I grow up, so I can help more and more people with the technology that we come up with.
Wonderful, great. Thank you so much for being here. It's been an absolute pleasure. And now we're going to go for a short break. And then when you come back, we're going to talk to our other competition participants.
Because we've got another robot lying on the table and it is labeled as a line runner as well. So go ahead, take a short break, and when you guys are going to come back, you'll be surprised to witness these very young kids making a robot
It's
by
amazing.
themselves.
Yeah.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. For everyone who just got tuned into PTY, you watching World this morning alongside Mohammed Maktoum and Shazad Khan. And today we have been joined by the champions and the winners of the Head Start School Indigenous Robotic Competition. Earlier, we were in discussion with the kids or the team who actually made a robot, which was named as the Artificially Intelligent Maze Robot as well, and they won the competition. Now, you know, I'm proud to say that, you know, both of these teams are from City School. Their teachers are putting in a lot of effort, but now the category is of the indigenous robot itself, but
Yes.
it's a line runner robot, and once you're going to see the kids who made them, you'll feel ashamed.
Okay, let's let's introduce the guests, and then we'll show you a little report before we ask them some questions. So we have been joined by Mohammed Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Thank you so much for joining us. And besides Mohammed Ahmed, we've been joined by Umar Ghaffar. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. And besides Umar Ghaffar, we've been joined by Usman Khurram. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining us. There's such polite kids over in the studio. But let's take a look at the report, and when you come back, we'll ask them some questions.
I love you all.
Okay.
All right, so before we move on towards the video, I think, Ma, what we need to
Okay.
do is that we need to ask them directly because we're left with very short time.
All right.
So what is this robot capable of? Because you assembled the majority of it.
Well, most of it, it has 5 IR sensors, which basically sense the light. It works on a tape, a white color tape. So it reflects light. It has 2 LEDs. One reflects lights and the other sense lights.
Okay.
So whenever the light is reflected, it moves over there, and whenever, because of the dark contrast, the light is absorbed, it doesn't move over there. It has 5 sensors. So wherever, if the light comes from left, either right, it moves over right or left.
Okay.
And it has and its brain is this Uno Arduino chip,
Okay.
which has
I
all
don't
the
know what
coding.
it is.
He's
Uno
going to tell us.
Arduino chip.
Yes, tell us.
Yes. So mainly Sir Fahad, he helped us. So mainly most of the coding I did not do it.
Okay.
He did it mostly, but we just almost assembled it, and we know how it works.
Excellent.
But
Okay.
this robot has got individual motors, right?
Yes.
Because in case it has to go to the left or to the right,
Can it
go
you
to
know,
the-
one motor needs to work. See, I'm starting to understand robotics now.
Okay,
Wow.
excellent. Okay, so now before we move on to Umar, let's move on to Usman. So tell us a little bit more about the
It's
robot.
work on a light on white line which reflects light, and these sensors detect that wire and it move over there. If we need left or right turn, we program it, and then we left or right.
Okay, so it's a you have to pre-program.
So,
Yes.
so I think I'm going to move on to Umar now. So Umar, you know, you definitely look the youngest, and you know you've prepared about artificial intelligence as an industry within Pakistan. What are your views about it?
In this era, Industry 4, which is artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and big database management. So the countries, the nations which are using artificial intelligence or Industry 4, they will succeed and will be successful because there is no any other alternative choice.
Okay, so now within Pakistan, do you think that we can do this as well?
Yes,
Yes?
if we practice
If we practice.
and we try.
Excellent.
So that I just want to move on to Sir over
Great.
there as well. So Sir, you know, you programmed this entire robot, and it was very
Is that
honest
allowed?
of the kids to do that. Thank you very much for doing that. But what kind of programming does it even take, and do we get our hands, you know, probably to do our research? I mean, for example, do they even have an idea of how this programming is being done?
The programming on Arduino chip is very user friendly. It's more like English. So for particularly this robot, it has 5 sensors, as Ahmed mentioned. So it senses the white line. So if the sensor is exactly above the line, if the line is in the middle, so we will turn on both the motors. We will just say right in the program, okay, if the light is on the middle sensor, just move the robot straight. And if the line moves, when the line moves, it will come to the left sensor or the right sensor, and we will program it that if it is sensing the right sensor, the left motor will start running and the right motor will stop. So
Okay,
it will
but so now the thing is, you're programming, but the thing is, with the participants, are we teaching them also how to put it into the programming?
Yes.
Okay,
We are
excellent.
doing that.
Okay, excellent. Okay, yes.
We call it coding.
Coding.
So they
that's the
learn
word.
to code from
Okay.
a very young age.
Right.
And believe it or not, for some parents, it's not great fun because robots are made out of Lego pieces.
Yes.
And you walk from here to there and you suddenly find you put your foot on the Lego and next thing it
remember that.
literally, hurts.
pain.
You killed a robot.
But
Because we're talking about artificial intelligence. It's
That's right.
going
It's
to
gonna
be
move.
killing a robot.
Okay, now the thing is with this, I mean, when I saw this, what I think of is a tractor in a field. So are these things kind of?
oh gosh, yes, these
are
are
we?
these are exactly the kind of things that would control a tractor to go along the straight line. And the advantage would be that if a man is following a two oxen, they will get tired. But these computers, they will not get tired. That's why where they're using these remote control vehicles, you can have fields of large expanse.
And
Okay.
since we are an agriculture-based economy, so I think all of these machineries are going to be very effective and efficient within the field, and the production is going to go up, and less manpower, less expenses. That's great. But in the longer run, we really need to develop an industry where all of these kids can be hired and their expertise can
And
be
I
taken.
have news for you.
Yes,
Yeah.
please tell us.
Very soon we are going to do a little competition where we will have students bringing in their drones and they will have drones flying competition. But guess what? Next generation of crops, you won't have to go along and pick them up. Your drone will fly over and see which bits of the crops are doing, and you will know whether they had in need of fertilizer or water. And the greater the productivity, the better the national prosperity, and it's all here.
So, sir, now over
Amazing.
here, we are already so used to of not doing so much work, we sit down quite a lot, we have tea breaks quite a lot, and, we just give up on ourselves at times, or we just want to spoil ourselves. So do you think that, bringing in artificial intelligence will actually leave us to do some
Sir,
work?
I have
just a
news
bit
for
of
you.
it?
We'll be replaced,
we-
Shazad, we're gone.
we have this incredible picture of ours as if we just sit here and we sun ourselves by sitting in the shade.
Yeah.
We don't do that. I mean, these kids, they were there till 9:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if we let them, they would be there every day.
Okay.
The difficulty we have is that the little 6 or 7-year-olds who are coding robots and doing all these things, their parents and sometimes grandparents are waiting for them to pick them up from the school. And these kids are saying, no, 10 minutes more.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I think that's what exactly the point that you realized. It's an environment where they can, indulge, they can learn,
And they
if
can be
you-
secure and safe too.
But
Absolutely.
also the thing is, to be honest, I mean, we're quite good at delegating, aren't we? As it is, so I think if it's reliable, then why not?
Exactly, I think we can go forward with that. But since we move towards the end of the show as well, how do you see the future of artificial intelligence in Pakistan and the future of these kids?
I think the future is bright. The only thing we need to remember is that the future is here.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think we need to just keep on supporting young people like that. And I absolutely assure you that you saw the older ones,
Yeah.
you've seen the younger generation, and there is a battalion of them, even younger ones, coming forward.
Absolutely.
And
Thank
on
you.
that good note,
Thank you.
Amazing.
Excellent.
So I just want to ask him, so what do you want to do?
I want to be a software engineer as well as a mechanical engineer.
Okay.
Wow.
And I want to go abroad and study more about it. I want to do researches on it. And I want to establish my own company, but it will be a little difficult for me. So I'm just going on with the job.
So I think what I'm going to convey over here to the Higher Education Commission is that please make sure that you come up with a degree where there's software and mechanical engineering mixed.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Okay.
because we do not have a degree of that sort in Pakistan.
How about you,
So
Omar?
far.
I also want to be a software engineer. And if I had a lot of money, I would make many companies
Okay.
on chips or like to making these robots and helping the young generation to get
Okay.
inspired from me.
Well, right now,
Wonderful.
the latest generation you're going to get below you is adolescents. I think.
Well, you're inspiring us, so it's I think
Yes.
younger and older. What about you, Asma? How would
I
you-
also learned that how it work and I also be an engineer.
Excellent. And I am sure you guys will be thinking. And Fahad, any final words?
I just want them that if they go abroad
Yeah.
to study, please come back to Pakistan and do the work for our own country.
Absolutely.
Because all the students, they go abroad and they work for them. All these chips are being engineered by Pakistani students.
Yeah.
They are all working for them.
Exactly.
Please come back to Pakistan and do the work for us.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you and best of luck with your future endeavors. And we'll always be here to support you guys if you need a platform ever. But you know, the thing is, it's absolutely fine to say that come back and, you know, obviously you've gone abroad, you should come back and give to your country, but you also need to make it welcoming and you kind of need to give people the support and the resources and the, you know, incentives to come back as well.
Exactly, but at the same time, I think that it's a red flag for all of those parents who've lately been not paying quite a lot of attention to their kids because they're capable of quite a lot of things. I mean, we have shared, you know, probably 9 or 10 years of kids making robots over here.
Amazing.
Within the show, we have highlighted that too as well. So for all of those parents who were too busy going to their banks, offices, factories and whatnot just to earn money, well, that's not what the point is. The point is that you actually let them initiate whatever they want to do within their own heads and thoughts.
Exactly, because you can do all of that within Pakistan. The opportunities are there. So if you would like any information about anything we've discussed, log on to our Facebook fan page,
Which is with the name of World This Morning.
our Twitter page,
World This Morning without a G.
our Daily Motion YouTube page,
World This Morning,
and the repeat of that.
11 p.m.
Have a wonderful start to the week, and we will see you bright and early tomorrow morning.
Till the next time, 1, 2, 3,
Good
good
morning.
morning.